Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm showcasing my 1995 Toyota Land Cruiser 1 FZFE non-triple lock. Today we're going to be talking most likely about the tires and the lift setup that I recently just did on this vehicle. We have the Old Man Emu J series lift, which ranges from 3.5 to 4 inches of lift, and then we also have 37-inch tires on here. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick walk around, and then we'll talk about all the details of what I did and what I plan to do next. Front and rear bumper were custom made by the previous owner. I had the Smittybilt 10,000 winch X2O wireless synthetic. Those lights right there are the Prime Lux lights. I'll have the link on that for Amazon. Rigid ditch light. Tires are 37 by 12.5 17-inch Cooper STT Pro. My last video I was calling them the SST. They're actually STT Pro. Wheel setup are your basic Pro Comp Steelies. They're 17s by 9 gloss black. Rock sliders are next. So the J series lift comes from Old Man Emu. I ordered it from Cruiser Outfitter. Ran me about, the price varies, but what I paid was about $1,400 shipped. The kit comes with a steering dampener. I had them remove the Old Man Emu steering dampener because I already have a new one that I installed this summer. And then I also ordered the rear sway bar link extension from Cruiser Outfitter. They're made by Slee Off-Road, so you can get it from Slee Off-Road or any of their vendors. This Land Cruiser has been modified a little bit, so I'll talk about that before we go into the lift. I have deleted my ABS system. I have also deleted my front sway bar. So we won't talk about front sway bar extension, any of that stuff. The brake lines have been extended already. I went to my local rubber supply store. They're like an industrial rubber supply store, and I took my old brake lines, and they had the same fittings and all the brake lines. So all my lines, I had them extended 6-inch longer than stock. There's 2 lines up in the front, and then there's 1 line up in the rear. I made a separate video about that already, so make sure you guys check that out. I recommend you guys do that before you guys do your lift. It makes it easier. I don't know on top of my head what the part numbers are for the shocks and coils, but if you go into their site, it will tell you the number if you want to order separately. On top of the Old Man Emu lift, I also installed a 1.5-inch coil spacer. That is from Metal Tech. I ordered that from Metal Tech. Costed me $200 shipped. So that's 1.5-inch spacer. The reason why I did that, because J series lift, I've done this before on my past Land Cruiser. My first Land Cruiser, I did this on my first Land Cruiser, and without that metal spacer, your back end is up like that. So you have a rake, they call it. So I went ahead and did the spacer this time to level it out, and it levels out pretty good. I wouldn't go bigger than 1.5 inches. If you go 2-inch, your front would definitely be way more up higher. So Old Man Emu J series lift, Metal Tech front spacer. Here's the steering dampener I got already. The kit comes with it if you need it. I had them removed it. We didn't go with caster bushing because I don't really like that style. Instead, we went with the caster plates. Super easy to install. You do have to do a little bit of grinding and cutting, but nothing crazy. That big line that's curved right there, that's the brake line. One of the 2 brake lines up in the front that you have to do. So that's it for the front. The other brake line is right here. The one that goes to the passenger, this one here. I wrapped it with some rubber styrofoam just to protect it. And you can see right here, the angle of the dry line is perfect. Before the caster plates, your angle is really off on the dry line, so now it's perfect. plenty of clearance between the tie rod and the radius arm. You have like a 1/4 inch. I haven't flexed it yet. I haven't flexed the vehicle yet and tested it out and see how it does, but we'll do that later. For the rear, these right here, you can't really see it, but I'll post some photos. These are the sway bar extender. There's two versions. There's this one, and there's one that bolts on the bottom of the frame. So you just got to see which version you have. They come with just, it actually comes in silver, like a little galvanized silver. I just went ahead and did a quick rattle can on it. While I was there, I put new sway bar end links, and I also replaced all the bushing, the rubber bushing here, and the rubber bushing on the sway bar where it bolts to the axle. So the fresh end is all good. For the rear, we just installed the coils, no spacers or nothing like that. And then the shocks as well. And then the brake line is right there in the center. That's the one brake line you have to extend on the back. There's brake lines at the back of the rotors. You don't have to extend those because when you flex, those don't change or anything like that. That hose right there that goes in the right there, that's the diff breather. So that's it right there. So right now, the vehicle drives really good. Well, it drives okay. The main thing that I have to do now on this lift, if you guys are doing this lift setup, you have to get adjustable panhard. It's a must. Because right now, my truck does kind of sway to the passenger side on the highway. So I have to get front and rear sway bar. And I'm going to go with the sleeve off-road version. They make the kit where it's like a sleeve. And then you cut your original one. And then you put it in and then you weld it up. Instead of buying a brand new adjustable panhard. So that's what I'm going to do for the front and the rear. And then besides the panhard, I have to get the rear upper control arm. And I'm going to get the kit from Slee Off-Road as well. They make the links where you cut your upper control arm. And then you weld it in. And then you can adjust your upper control arm. The reason why you have to do that is because when you lift it up, that upper control arm is what controls the diff. So right now, my diff is pointing down. And I needed to extend it so they can come back straight. And I'm going to show you guys. I'm not sure if you guys can see on camera. But if you look right there, you see how the diff is pointing too much down. It needs to go up just a little bit more. Like I would say like 1/2 inch. And that diff angle is controlled by your control arm. Because your control arm are like that. It's frame on this side and then axle on that side. You have to extend it. And once you extend it, your axle will be turned slightly like that. So the shorter it is, the more the diff angle is going to go down, which is what we did right now because we lifted it. And once we extend it, we're going to turn it like that. And it just needs to go like maybe like 3/4 inch. The lower control arm, which is this, they're fine. They don't need to be adjusted as far as I know. All my tie rod ends are brand new from this year. I just need front and rear panhard, upper control arm, and then after that, we'll get the alignment dialed in good. Pretty much all I have for this lift here. I love it. Like I said, it's the J series lift. I've done it before. Easy installation. You can do yourself, and it sits really nice. I'll go ahead and post some before and after measurements. I did measure this before I lift it and get you guys some after shots. Next thing we'll do is sliders, and then after that, if we want to, I'll go ahead and put a front locker. So right now this is a non-lock Land Cruiser, but I do have a rear Grizzly locker. So there's a Grizzly rear locker, which is automatic locker. Locks right away when you're driving straight. And then obviously these Land Cruiser come with center diff lock. So that's it. So I gotta go now. I'll talk to you guys next time. If you guys got any questions, let me know in the comments section below. This is a 95 Land Cruiser J series lift with the Metal Tech 1.5 inch spacers, clearing 37, and you can also clear 35. So right now I can probably put a 38 in here, but I don't want to. But it does fine with 37. If you guys got any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Follow my Instagram, NuttyNu_4x4.